Did you really drink 6 martinis before taping Speshy Weshy?
Dude, I was loaded. Absolutely loaded. I loaded like you can't imagine and just forgot shit, like just went out there and I was just like, fuck it. I had an attitude at that time in my life where I was like, nobody wants this, so I don't care anyway. It's all over. I'm going back to physical therapy, so fuck it. So I just went out there, smashed. And but I said, fuck it, why the hell not? That, and then I have the other thing in my career that people know me from is my 9/11 story. I went on, if you Google Chris Distefano 9/11 story, it's like the thing, like people will be like, hey, you're the 9/11 guy, which sounds weird. I'm like, no, I wasn't involved. But they, I did this comedy bit about 9/11 on 9/11 in New York City at the Comedy Cellar. And it's another thing. I was like nearly blackout drunk when I did it.
Wow.
Like almost like I have little fuzzy memories of it. And it was like the only thing of my stand-up that like ever went like truly viral. And I was like, holy shit. I just put out 12 minutes. And I knew when I was doing that bit, like all the waiters and waitresses stopped what they were doing, and I saw other comics coming into the back of the Comedy Cellar to watch, and I was like, oh shit, what's happening right now? And I just kept going, like telling the story, and then I was like, I saw it the next day and I was like, dude, I don't even remember saying half of this shit. Like I was calling out like Vinny Guadagnino from the Jersey Shore. I didn't know what I was even talking about, but I showed it to my friend and he was like, you have to put this out immediately. Like, this is what you post. And I was like, nobody's going to like this. He was like, just fucking post it.
What was the gist of it?
So basically on 9/11, I told this story about how my mom worked in downtown Manhattan in the second building that was hit. Survived, was fine, but I didn't know like where she was. Like nobody knew where she was. And New York City was like kind of wild on 9/11, and I didn't know where. They told us what happened, and then immediately I was like, oh, my mom's dead, and I started to cry. And this kid Frank started laughing at me, right? And it's an all-boy Catholic high school, very, very strict high school. This kid Frank starts to laugh at me, and I immediately just broke a chair over his head. Like we were sitting in these detached chairs and desks, and I just took the chair and I swung it over his head. And it fucking like knocked him out. Big thing, and I got expelled from the school on 9/11. I get home, my mom is okay. Like I was like, we didn't know where she was, but I get home and she's there and she's okay. And I don't tell anybody anything. And then I go back into school. We were off Wednesday. 9/11 happened on a Tuesday. Wednesday, school's closed. And then Thursday, I walked back in like I didn't, almost put somebody in a coma. And then the teacher, the principal, brother Rob, was like, hey, Distefano, what do you think we forgot? You're expelled. And I was like, oh, sorry. You guys remember that? And they were like, yeah, Frank's in the hospital. I was like, my bad. And so I call my father, and my father is like, kind of like was in prison when I was a kid.
Wow.
Was like a kind of in and out, great guy, but like, like a tough old school New York guy from the Bronx, like what you see in the movies. Like that's the type of guy my father was. Not so much when he was raising me, but he has that in him, and it's probably what my mother was attracted to when they had me and all that. And so like a kind of tough guy. So I call my dad from payphone, and I was like, hey, Dad, I got expelled from the school. And he goes, right away, he goes, here's the good news. No, you didn't. And I said, no, I'm telling you I did. And he goes, nope, I'm coming down there. I'm going to negotiate with this fuck. So it wasn't like a thing, like if I had told my mother, like I got expelled or whatever, it's, what did you do? Oh my God, my dad, because he's just been around criminals and been around stuff. He's calm. He was just like, don't worry about it. He goes, I'm going to be there in 20 minutes. I'm going to talk to this guy. Now, he lived on Staten Island. The school was in Queens. This was a Wednesday morning at 9:30 in the morning. It's like an hour with traffic. He got there in like 15 minutes. And I never forget, he showed up. He was wearing a New York Yankees batting practice jacket, and he had a Dunkin' Donuts coffee that was like a triple XL. So this guy was like caffeined up, fired up, and he walks in, and he said, where's the principal's office? So I show him, we walk in, and there's this, a secretary there that, you need to make appointments. He walks right past her. Her name was Miss Annette. Miss Annette, he walks right past Miss Annette. She goes, excuse me, sir, you have an appointment. He goes, I got, don't worry about it. Just do what you're doing, sweetheart. I got one. So he walks in, and I'm there. And brother Rob is on the phone. So my dad goes, hey, can I talk to you? And then Brother Rob says, do you have an appointment? He goes, no, I don't need one. And he goes, no, you need one. He goes, no, I don't need one. He goes, can I talk to you? And then Brother Rob goes, I'm on the phone. And then I'll never forget, my dad, was like a house phone. He clicked the receiver on the phone and he goes, look at that, now you're not on the phone. He like hung up his phone call. And then he goes to Brother Rob, he's like, so my son, I heard that my son allegedly hit somebody in the head with a chair. And then Brother Rob goes, well, it's not alleged. He hit somebody in the head with a chair. There's witnesses. He goes, it's all alleged till he's convicted. And then goes, Brother Rob was like, this is not a court. Like he's expelled from the school. And then Brother Rob was like, listen, he goes, he's expelled and there's nothing you can do. And my dad goes, there's got to be another way. Like he's just one of those doesn't take no for an answer kind of guy. So my dad goes, there's got to be another way. And then Brother Rob goes, there's no other way. Like he could be arrested for like what he did. There's absolutely no other way. And then my dad takes out a wad of cash and he just put right in front of me, just puts it on the table in front of me. Goes, there's got to be another way. And then Brother Rob says, you're going to bribe a man of God. And then this is like, it like got etched in my brain. He goes, I lost God September 21st, 1979. And I'm like, I don't know what that date meant to him, but I know he was in prison. And so I don't even want to know what happened to him that day. But something definitely crazy happened to him that day. Like I will never ask him, but he was like that September 21st, 1979. I was like, oh shit. So then my dad goes, let's figure out another way. And then Brother Rob says, sir, are you stupid? There's no other way. And then my dad, you don't want to say that to a guy like that.
That's like calling Michael J. Fox chicken.
Yes, exactly. And my dad goes, you just call me stupid? And then he looks at me, he goes, he just call me stupid? And I said, yeah, yes, but I don't think he meant it like that. And then my dad goes, yeah. He goes, Chrissy, when you call me, that's what he would call me. He would go, Chrissy, lock the door. So I was like, what? He goes, lock the door. So I shut the door and he goes, and he sits down, calm, my father. He goes, to Brother Rob, he goes, okay, listen. He goes, now you have two options. He goes, the second option really sucks for you. He goes, here's the first option. Just let my son back in school. He goes, now here's the second option. And again, this one's going to suck for you. He goes, you're going to think what I'm about to say is I've heard it in a movie. He's like, I'm one of the guys that they write these movies about. He goes, I'm going to come over there and I'm going to break both of your kneecaps. He goes, I've done it before. I'll do it again. He goes, I will call the police and I will give them my name, my social security number, tell them exactly what I'm doing, and then I'm going to still do it to you. He goes, I don't care. I'll go. He goes, I'd rather, this is another exact quote. He goes, I'd rather go back to prison for the rest of my life and be with my friends than you throw him out and me have to listen to his mother's fucking mouth for the rest of my life. He goes, so the choice is yours. It's up to you. And then Brother Rob, like, why does it go? Because when you get put in a position like that and like this is like a detached from reality man, or at least he's having temporary insanity type man, you know, like you're like, I'm not, like in the movies you might be a tough guy, but in reality you're like, I'll do whatever you want me to do then. And then Brother Rob's like, okay, well then he's back in school. He's immediately back in school. And then my dad says, thank you. He goes, I appreciate it. He goes, now we got there should be a penalty. He's like, detention, whatever. He's like, there's something. Yeah, my dad's like, you don't get off scot-free with shit like that, but there should be a penalty. He goes, how about detention before and after school? And he can't be on the basketball team or something like that. Brother Rob goes, that's fine with me. And I said, Dad, break his fucking legs. I'd rather not.
Do you like shopping on Amazon? I do. And good news is, Steve-O's butt wipes for your butthole are available on Amazon. And if you want a real bundle of a deal, you can get Steve-O's hot sauce for your butthole, plus Steve-O's butthole destroyer, and Steve-O's butt wipes for your butthole. It's the butthole bundle, available on Amazon right now.
Yeah, dude.